You feel that? That nip in the air. The sniffles are starting. Winter is definitely on the way, folks. At this time of the year, I don't muck around. I fire up with Nature Bee's Power Pollen. It is packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, everything your body's screaming out for when that temperature drops. It's helped me stay sharp, healthy, and it helps me fight off that sluggish winter slump. It has been doing that for 20 years. And right now, you can grab a 6-month supply of Nature Bee's Power Pollen for $160. Plus, they're throwing in a bonus month and 2 bars of that famous pollen and honey soap. So before winter knocks on your door, click on the link in the description and get your supply of Power Pollen Nature Bee. Money back guarantee. Big thanks to Nature Bee for powering another episode of Bonafide.
Got your diesel running, head out on the highway, missing all the roadkill. Another truckie Tuesday. In the gate when you're changing from lanes, do not brake check me in my prime. Australia moves and it's thanks to you guys. Trucks to get there on time. Listen to the air horns. Dip your lights from high beam. HPL that help you. Thanks to Rock and a Food.
Time for another Truckie Tuesday. Rocket Rod Hannafy joins us again. Did you know we're up to episode 41?
Incredible.
I know. And how many downloads?
I don't know.
Well, you're the person with the...
I'm also doing everything.
But last
else.
time you checked, it was 190,000.
No, I swear you add 10,000 more on every time.
180,000.
I don't know. I need to check.
Okay. Anyway, it's
A lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and something that started out as an experiment. So we keep going. Kelsey's got something she wants to get off her chest.
Yes. So last Truckie Tuesday, we had a very good conversation, and one of those conversations was with the lovely Ash Anderson. Now, I posted a clip of that chat on social media. You know, obviously I monitor the socials, and I know that everybody that listens to this podcast, because they're choosing to listen to this podcast, I would confidently say that the people that listen to this podcast do not fall into this category. But I can fully understand why truck drivers have a bad reputation, because some of the comments were just like,
Ridiculous.
When people have something rude to say about you, Rod, that grinds my gears.
Mm-hmm.
You do so much for the trucking industry. One Wally will be like, oh, what does this guy know about road safety? Or what does, how is this guy qualified to say? And that grinds my gears so much, because I'm like, here is Rod trying to make your working life better, trying to make your whole life better, and you're in here kicking up a fight. Like, are you kidding me? This is one person that's trying to do something good for you. He's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for every single truckie on the road, and it grinds my gears. It's just, it's so ungrateful, and I don't know. I can fully understand why, from reading the comments, and I understand that it's a controversial video, the one we put up with Ash, but oh my God, like, some people are just horrible, just horrible. And also, they don't watch the end of the video before they comment. It's mind-boggling, Rod. I don't understand how you do it, because to fight for people, and a lot of them just do not have any respect for you or what you do. I throw my hat off to you, Rod, because it frustrated me reading some of the comments. I don't understand how you do it.
You've just given them some time in the sun.
I do ignore them, but I just got to put it out there to say, there's no respect for each other.
Yeah.
There's no respect for each other. It's so annoying.
It is. And look, I had one bloke at one stage send me a number of texts, and virtually quite abusive to start with. And eventually I sent the bloke back a text saying, mate, you've obviously got my phone number. Ring me up. Ring me up. If you want to abuse me and give me a hard time, ring me up and talk to me. Tell me what I've done wrong. Eventually this bloke rang up and he said, all these other blokes said that, you're a dickhead and a know-it-all and whatever the case may be. And I said, right. And I said, well, what's your problem? Oh, well, I'm having trouble with this thing, blah, 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 and I didn't know who to talk to, and I was going to talk to you, and they said you wouldn't know. And in the end, he became nearly a pest. That when I helped him out with something and, well, you did know what you were talking about, and thanks for that. And look, I've seen it too, and it does take the gloss off it. Now, we know what this job is like, that you're never home, and I've had so many people say, mate, I don't know how you do what you do as well as driving the truck full time. Even then, it's only what people see. So they hear me talk to you for half an hour, whatever we did on the radio. It's, 2 hours of a night. And they don't know that behind that, yes, I drove trucks for 60 hours that week, plus I do have a family, plus I write a column each month, plus I do the blog, plus I do all the other stuff. And all of that takes time. And people only see the little bit like we do now that goes to air, but it's all the stuff behind it. Like this week, I've been off for the week. I flew to Townsville on Sunday, or on Monday actually. My son just qualified as a fiery in Queensland.
Yeah.
So I flew up there
well
for
done.
his graduation ceremony. And as of next Monday on my birthday, he starts work as a fiery at Mount Isa. Something he's wanted to do for many years, and he's done it, so we made the effort to go up to the graduation. But even in that time, I've probably spent at least 10 hours on the phone talking about rest areas, roads, a couple of other things I'm involved in, writing emails, trying to get stuff done, and people don't see any of that. And they see that one little bit, like you say, and think, why has he got a right to have a say? And I'd ask you to confirm this for me. I have never, ever, in all of the time we've spoken, said that I am perfect, a better driver, a better person, or know everything.
No.
I've never said that, and I never will, because I am not any of those things. But I do try. I am passionate. I often get called other things as well. But I'm more than happy for any other truck driver in Australia to step up and have a go and try and make things different. But as you say, it's the ones who sit on their fat ass and criticise and want things fixed that do nothing about getting it done except whinging. And, yeah, it does take the gloss off it.
It was funny because there was this one guy. So the video that I put up, right, Luke started the video misidentifying the truck and dog for a B double, which was my fault because I gave Luke the notes, right? But I knew that the truckies would take issue with that. Yeah. So I made sure that at the end of it, I included the bit, Rod, where you corrected Luke and said it's a truck and dog, right? And I put that bit in it. It was kind of funny because I didn't know what a truck and dog was. Yep. And this one guy commented on it being like, it's a fucking truck and dog, whatever. Yeah. And I commented back saying, did you watch the end of the video? Like, did you listen to the end of the video? And he commented back saying, yeah, I did, but Rod's on the radio all the time and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Something like to that effect. And I commented back saying, well, he was right. Rod did correct us. He literally was right though. And also, if you think you can do a better job, we would love to have you on the podcast. I would love to share your opinion. I've got no trouble with that. But otherwise, we're not on radio anymore, so you're going to have to take that up with them. No response.
No
response. Because
always the way.
Everyone's got something to say, but nobody wants to do the job either. So it's very interesting.
They're dickheads. Don't worry about them.
I've got a very strong sense of justice. And so when I see somebody trying to talk shit about you, Rod, it grinds my gears. Well,
you need to get
much.
an automatic.
Yeah.
She's defending you like a daughter. So there you are.
Good on her. And I've got to say, look, even other drivers in our company have been had on the road and heard a conversation where, that bloody Hennepy, blah, blah, blah. And some of them stick up for me for the same reason. They know that outside of me, there are few other drivers that make that amount of effort. There are certainly the industry associations we've spoken about, and I've been part of them, and past president of NRFA, and all of the few members on the board. We've got a board of 10 people with 250 members, whatever it is now, and of those 10, 4 of them do most of the work. And outside of them, the same in the other associations, there's a few that really make the effort, and everybody else sits back and wants it fixed. They want it perfect. And as a perfect example, mate, I went to the Heavy Vehicle Rest Area Steering Committee. I did it online last week while I was in Sydney. We spoke of that. And, of course, the day that thing was touted and the members of the committee were announced, everybody expected the rest area problem to be fixed overnight. All of a sudden, there would be, just by the wave of a magic wand, there would be another 1,000 rest areas and no one would ever struggle for one. Now, anybody that's ever rang a council or a state government or a federal government through a member or a committee or a panel or a board knows that no matter what you do, it takes months to get someone to listen, let alone to get them to get someone to act.
Yeah.
And yep, they all want it fixed yesterday, but they won't contribute. And look, in some ways, I understand, mate. There's a lot of cynical truckies out there. We've been through so many reviews. We had the Quinlan inquiry. We had the Beyond the Midnight Oil. We've just had our review of the heavy vehicle national law that's into its 8th year and still hasn't produced a damn thing really that's going to help a truckie on the road. And I understand their cynicism. I really do. And I have so many people say, why? Why do you put in the effort? Why do you keep going? And I'll tell you why. Because the day I started this, I said to myself, the worst possible thing that can happen is I waste my time and my breath and my money and nothing happens. That's the worst thing that can happen. But if I get one rest area fixed, or I have one driver say I saved his life because there was a green reflector bay, or I have one car driver see the top 10 tips, or anything like that, and I prevent one crash, then everything after that's a bonus. And that's the reason I do it.
Well done.
Yeah, good on you, Rod.
Are you right now, Kelsey?
Yeah, I'm right. I just wish I can understand why there's lots of conversations going on about like mateship on the road because like...
Yes, and the loss of it.
The truckies just going at each other as well, calling you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, all that type of stuff. I can't... These are your colleagues on the road, you know? Like, I don't know. It's sad. Honestly, it's sad. And especially when people like have a gripe with somebody that's actually trying to do something. Oh, get a life.
You right now?
I'm right. Fuck the haters.
I appreciate your support, mate.
What?
Shall we move on?
Yeah, we should move on. Voicemails.
We've got some voicemails. Have a listen to this. This is from Peter.
G'day, Luke. Peter here. Loving the podcast. Listen to it religiously every week. Just listened to Truckie Tuesday last week. Now, I'm a HC truck driver at one of the big DCs over in Perth. Yeah, the one that begins with C. I know Glenn. I'm a TWU member. He's dead right in what he says. I just urge all truck drivers all around the country, join the union, join whatever you've got to join. And if you want change, you've got to be part of it. You just can't sit in the cab with the aircon on, listen to the radio all day and whinge about this, that and the other and do nothing about it. You need to be part of it. And as for overseas truck drivers, we need them. That's the bottom line. We need them. I've heard everything, but, you know, we got to have them in. Guys, get out there and help them.
Mate, been saying it for years. I don't care what you join, whether it's the union, the NRFA, one of the ATA member associations, they can't do the work unless they have the members to push for it, because the government will say, oh, who do you represent and how many people and all of that. And whilst I do it individually and have done, I've still been part of those groups where I can. I'm involved with Glenn in that committee. And he's right. If we don't work to help one another, Kelsey just said it, instead of fighting one another and picking on one another with stupid shit, if we actually put that effort into supporting a group, whichever one you decide suits your job or your role the best, then the more chance we have of getting something done. And he's right. We don't have enough drivers. If we didn't have those overseas drivers, we wouldn't be able to deliver the freight task. All we want is for them to be properly tested and trained before they're on the road. And I don't think that's an unreasonable ask.
United you stand, divided you fall, I think is how the song went. Got this other voice message for you, Rod, from Rob.
Good evening, Millennial and Luke. Had a message for Rocking Rod. I think it was based on a couple episodes ago regarding trailer brakes. And you know, I had an incident about 18, 19 years ago on the M1 coming down the freeway just before the Gosford turn-off heading south. And I was in a Prado at the time, and I was towing a Shark Cat. The Shark Cat was probably around about 2.5 tonne fiberglass, almost 3 tonne. It was on a triaxle trailer. When I hooked it up to the back of the Prado, it actually lifted the back of the Prado. So all the weight was positioned obviously incorrectly at the very rear of the triaxle trailer. Keeping that in mind, I thought I'd better take it easy, and didn't go over 80 k's an hour all the way back home to Sydney, and then came unstuck.
Rod?
Right. Well, it'd be interesting to see how he came unstuck and what the relationship was to the brakes. But I gather he was going to say that he tried to use them and either it didn't help, perhaps he didn't have an individual applicator. But yes, as soon as he said that he put it on there and it actually lifted the weight off the back of the Prado, I'm thinking this is not looking good for a start. And obviously it didn't end up real good either. So if there's something wrong like that, it's like us, mate. We do a pre-trip inspection. It's part of the requirement of the job. And you have a look at things. Now, when he put that on there, he said, I'm going to go steady, but he still obviously destroyed the thing, so he knew there was something wrong. Now, whether he could fix it or not at the time, that's another discussion. But he drove off knowing there was a problem and thinking, well, I'll just go steady and it'll be okay. And obviously it wasn't. So if you get in a truck, if you get in a car and a caravan combination, and the bloody arse of the car is dragging on the ground and the back of the van sticking up in the air, is that really the way you want to drive off safely down the road? No, fix it first. If there's something wrong, get it fixed.
We got this voice message from Nathan.
Yeah, to go with Rod's question, blind spots. Stay out of the truck's blind spots because, we cannot see you when you get in the truck's blind spots. And if you want to know where the truck blind spot is, it's clearly written on the back of the truck where it says, do not overtake turning vehicle.
Tip number 2 is that do not overtake turning vehicle. And in the past, it was meant as an advisory sign. It's now part of law. So if you come up behind the truck is turning, you go past that sign and the truck hits you in the car are liable for any damages because you ignored what is a sign as part of road law. He got number 2 and then he touched on number 1, which is do not cut in front of trucks at lights or out on the highway, and it's about taking away that safe braking space.
Yeah, and a good sign that you see in the back of trucks is if you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you.
Yes, it is, and that works really well on a single. So a semi can turn once, but if you're in a B double, it's really if you can't see the driver. But that's probably, there are a couple that have that on there as well. You can look up the side and see the mirror, but that doesn't mean you can see the driver or the driver can see you. A slight improvement in that one.
Yeah, and just bringing it back to suburbia, buses. If the bus is telling you it's about to pull out, it's got its right indicator on, don't go past it. Let it come out.
Same thing. Yep. That's part of law. That's right.
Absolutely. Some truckie news. The West Australian government has announced almost $57 million to fund over 100 projects under the 2025-26 state Black Spot program and Safer Roads program. Rod, they say the funding will go towards both upgrades and planning and pre-construction works. Of those 100 plus locations to receive funding, 54 are in regional Australia. A total of $26.91 million has been allocated to the state Black Spot program and $30 million for the Safer Roads program.
So there's an example, Luke. I wonder how many of our listeners have ever contributed to the Black Spot program.
What is it?
Tell me. You know how it works.
Tell us about
it. It's virtually where there has been a major accident or fatality or more than one, it comes up. So the states keep a record of where those things occur. And I don't know what the criteria is, whether it varies in each state. It might be 1 death, it might be 5, it might be more. It might be a number of incidents, even if death isn't involved, but they come up. But at times they will ask, do you wish to nominate a black spot? So it might be a bit of road where it's really slippery. It might be an off-camber corner. It could be any of those things, and you can nominate it. They will then go and check the history of that site, and if there have been other incidents there, then it goes up the tree in that black spot funding. And so what they're announcing there in that state is where those things have been found from previous events. They've deemed them to be sufficiently dangerous is not the word they will use, but we're going to use it because obviously somebody has been involved in an incident or a death there, and they've deemed it that it's not just a bit of road that can be ignored, it's a black spot because of what's happened, and we're going to improve it or fix it. Depends on which way they go about it. It might be realign a corner or something like that, take away camber. But again, whenever you see something that says, would you like to nominate a dangerous piece of road? Or, for example, again, if you go to the NRFA page at the moment, there should be a thing up there for rest areas, asking people where they want rest areas. So it doesn't matter whether it's you, me, Kelsey, or the Prime Minister. None of us knows every bit of road in Australia. We don't travel it every week. But if you do travel a road regularly, then you know where those spots are. But some bloke sitting in, the head of the Transport for New South Wales or Vic Roads or whoever it is doesn't know unless somebody tells them. So make the effort.
Some sad news last week. A truck driver was killed in a crash near Seymour in Victoria. It was last Wednesday afternoon. Victoria Police said a truck went down an embankment and crashed into trees near the intersection of Lambing Gully Road in Avenel about 1 p.m. Police said the truck caught fire. Following the crash, the driver, who has yet to be formally identified, died at the scene. Do you know this area?
Mate, Avenel is on the Hume Highway coming north out of Melbourne. Used to go to the truck stop there all the time, but I'm not sure whether he was on the road between Avenel. He didn't say he was on the Hume. But, look, there's been a number this week, and I know we say this every week, Luke, that there's been a number of truck crashes and fatalities. I know that people then hear that and think, bloody trucks, too many trucks. But honestly, our rate has improved better than that of cars. The industry is doing some things better, not all. We all need to take part in it. And I suppose it's going to lead up to one of the things we talked about, the bona fides group last week, Luke. I want to get something up for truck drivers as well. Now, we've started off with Kelsey's comments where they're sitting in the cab, they're on their own, they've got nothing better to do than abuse and whinge and sook. And I want to know, I have a question, and we'll jump in early with this one, Luke.
Okay.
I want to know from truck drivers what they need to inspire them enough to make an effort to do it better. Now, you can sit there in the truck and we've discussed you're away from home, you're worried about you missing your kid's birthday or your wife needs a new fry pan or the house has fallen down, whatever it might be. You're out there on your own thinking about these things. And they weigh on you and they weigh you down and they make it harder to do the job properly and to have your mind on what you're doing. Now, I'm not thinking that everybody should go out there gung-ho and let's fix the industry and we'll write a letter to everybody on earth tomorrow to fix the roads and the rest areas and the problems and car education and all of those things. That'd be nice, never going to happen. But as a basis, what does a driver need to inspire him to two things: do the right thing on the road, keep himself safe and keep his mind on the job, and two, recognise that what he does either promotes the industry because he's let a car out, he's given him a wave and said thank you, he's just driven professionally where nobody notices he's there, or he sits right up the arse of a car, or he does something like our stupid mate in the Truck and Dog with Ash, or he doesn't give a bugger about anybody else and he goes down the road and makes things worse. So what do they need, Luke? What can we do to help them?
Okay, let us know. Luke Boner, radioguy@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook and leave a voice message. Now, we need Rocket Rod's Roadie Riddle.
Rocket Rod's Roadie Riddle. Well, that was it.
No, that wasn't really a riddle. We want a riddle.
Oh, you want a riddle? Well, while I'm thinking about that, I have something to read to you.
Okay.
Now, some of us think that we're funny and some of us aren't. And this is something I wrote ages ago. It's probably going to take just over a minute.
Good.
And it's meant, we've started on a pretty heavy sort of a bent, Luke. So we've got to come up with something a little bit more humorous.
I think
That's
so,
right,
yeah.
I know. But it's serious and we're serious about it. So this is called The Knights of the Road. Out here in highway land, life is like a fairy tale. There are good princes and knights of the highway. There are beautiful princesses waiting at castles across the land. There are wicked monsters and RMS officers and others waiting to prey on the good and simple folk. Now for the story. Once upon a time, there lived a happy truckie. Drive-a-lot was his name. He lived in a small castle. Well, a man's home is his castle, isn't it? In a beautiful valley far away from the city, with his wife Laugh-a-lot and his 2 children Talk-a-lot and Hungry-a-lot. He was happy because he was his own boss, sort of. He could do whatever he liked with his truck, a big carry-a-lot with 400 horses under the bonnet, and couldn't they go through the chaff? But only as long as he paid the finance company Take-a-lot. He could come and go as he pleased as long as he wasn't too fast, too heavy, too slow and or too late, because then his customers would be wanting to know why he wasn't where they thought he should be. Of course, Drive-a-lot did his best like all truckies do. He looked after his truck like it was his own. It would be in 200 years when his son's sons had paid the last instalment. He serviced it and washed and polished it, and of course he drove it all around this large, bountiful and beautiful but unforgiving land. While he was off on his travels, his time was his own. Well, sort of. As long as he drove, stopped and slept, as was decreed by the royal logbook, he wouldn't incur the wrath of the Lord's armies. Now, one army wasn't enough to watch over truckies. There was the normal army in the blue uniforms, and then there was the special forces in the brown uniforms. The blue uniforms watched over everyone. Their job was to protect the people from themselves and each other, and by and large, they did a mighty fine job. The brown uniforms were especially interested in truckies. They were there to protect everyone else from truckies and make sure they, the truckies, complied with the royal logbook, which we will look at next time. Safe trucking, royal subjects.
It should be Sir Drive-a-lot.
Sir Drive-a-lot. I'll improve that on the next version.
I asked ChatGPT for a roadie riddle.
Yeah, go.
Okay,
Right.
ready?
Listen, look at you go.
I know. I start where the flies outnumber the folk, past red-hot roads and eucalyptus smoke. I head south by east, then north once more. I pass where the Nullarbor meets the shore. I am not a shortcut, though some think I am. I'll chew up your diesel and jam up your plan. I look like the way, I've got signs and a name, but follow me far and you'll cruise and you'll curse just the same. What am I?
Wow. Think about that.
All right. Well, it's,
I looked it up and I mean, it seems to be, the answer seems to be in line with the riddle, so.
It does. Okay, yes.
okay.
Very good.
That's ChatGPT. AI. The AI is taking over, Rod. We won't need you soon.
It is. Oh, thanks, mate. Yes, I'll be able to have a rest. If only it would fix the roads and drive the trucks as well.
All right, Rod. Good to talk. We'll leave you there. Something to think about. And Kelsey, just don't stress.
I'm not stressing.
You were fired up.
I'm just a fired up individual as
Wow,
it is.
Imagine living with you. I did live with you. I used to stay in bed until she went to school. God. Should have heard the blues between her and her sister. You're dead to me. You took my hairbrush. Oh, God. Rod,
Yes.
leave me and Kelsey to it now.
All right, mate. You take care.
Okay, now listen, before you go, a quick reminder, winter doesn't have to walk all over you. Get on the front foot. Nature Bee's Power Pollen. It is your winter defense kit. More energy, immune support, nutrients, antioxidants, and it's all in one beautiful little golden capsule. And you don't need to swallow the capsules whole either. I mean, you can just sprinkle it on your breakfast, on your porridge, in your smoothies, in your juice. Power Pollen's sweet, nutty taste is both a flavour and an energy boost. And it's proof that it's just Mother Nature. You can grab a 6-month supply for $160, and they're throwing in an extra month and 2 bars of their famous pollen and honey soap for free. Comes with a money-back guarantee, otherwise I wouldn't endorse it, and I've been taking it since the year 2000. Click the link in the description and order yours today and say goodbye to winter blues. Nature Bee, helping you stay on top of winter and not under it. And a big thanks to Nature Bee for powering up another bona fide episode.